What's good with everybody? Welcome to the channel. You already know it's Blockchain Odyssey. We're gonna get up here and shake it real quick. Got a nice little vibe going on for us. Typically, what I like to do is get up here and live chart. I don't really be having too much stuff like already in play, like how it is. I'm gonna go this point, this point, this point, this point. Nah. Y'all gonna see exactly how I get up here, look at these charts with a fresh mindset. I do have somewhat of a roadmap to, just because I don't want to be up here just free talking for nothing. But just stay tuned. We're gonna show y'all how to make some money in crypto specifically. I do not day trade, I swing trade. These are long time frame, high time frame trades that is depending on your own volatility and your own stomach for the risk. Now, get that one time right here. Gotta have me a little music going on. I know y'all like the aesthetics in the background. You know, we up in the sky with it. We in the galaxy with it, man. That's how high we is, bro. That's how lit we gonna be today. So let's go ahead and get into the markets. That's what we here for. That's what we here for. So it's the first day of October. October. If you don't know, that's a meme in the crypto world. We are going up in October because Q4 is seasonally the best time to be getting into crypto as a whole. I did mention that in my last video. Go check out the last live I did. I do have the replay. Just go to the playlist, go to the live replay, market updates, and you will see exactly what it is I'm talking about towards the end of it. Every time it's season 4 seasonality, man, we start taking off. More so in November, but October is the start of Q4, the fourth quarter of the year, and it's always bullish for the most part. So right now we're gonna look at Bitcoin first. Always gotta look at Bitcoin first. Let's get Bitcoin first. It's the big daddy of it. Always have to look at Bitcoin first. I can't say that like enough times. I can't stress it enough. You have to look at Bitcoin first. And right now, if you know me and you've been paying attention to any of these, I like to pay attention to market structures, right? Now, what I mean by market structure, let me hide this real quick. And this is a good example right here for you. Let me hide this right here, right? So look at this. We're gonna start from right here. Fuck it. Say this is the low of the chart. We'll come up here and make a nice little high range. Bang. Come back here and make a low. Bang. Then we make a higher high. This high is higher than this high. Right? But what we did right here is we came right here and we made a lower low. It was very, very slight, but you can see the cursors up here from the chart. It's lower than where it was over here. It's a little bit lower, not too big of a difference, but still it was a shift in market structure. Because when we came back up, we made a lower high and then another lower low. Then we came up here and we made a high. It wasn't a higher high, but we made a high. We came down and made a higher low. That was already giving you somewhat sign, especially once we had this big up move right here and made another higher high. Like, okay, markets are kind of switching. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Instantly changing market structure. Now we had another lower low right here. But right here, we just made a higher low compared to this one. And we took off. And yesterday and continuing on today, we have made a higher high. So what's next going into Bitcoin? Well, typically we'll make a higher high. Who knows where we're going to stop off at exactly? I can talk about that in just a second. But I'm not going to dismiss a claim that we could be coming back down for a little bit. For some of the people who like to wait for the right moment and all this other stuff, which really don't exist. There's no such thing as a right moment. It's whether you get in or you don't get in. Stop being pussy and just go ahead and dive deep, man. We're going to make it's a possibility to make a higher low, and I'm not writing it off. And then we'll just start the trend, like keep going forward. Now let me get this off real quick, because you get what I mean by the market structure itself. Where it is, I can see us possibly stopping at. That's a little something that's kind of up to debate. So I'm gonna draw a volume profile right here, right? Volume profiles is pretty much just giving you the profile of volume, money inflow into a project. So it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. A lot of volume makes the chart goes up. A lot of sell volume will make the chart go down. If a lot of people are selling, the chart's gonna go down. If a lot of people are buying, the chart's gonna go up. Common sense. This green line right here is represented pretty much for like good buy areas on this within this range that we're looking at. And the red line is what we're tapping right here, ironically enough. That's very reminiscent of a nice selling point. Very nice selling point. So let me get this off real quick because you see we're right there at that moment, and you can also look at this wick right here in Bitcoin. We climbed all the way up here to about what was that price? Like 123K back in what day was this? This was on the 14th of July. We got all the way up to 123K, and we pretty much boom from this moment, from that big wick right here, we just been pretty much on the downtrend, going down the entire time for the most part. So every time we got within this price range, it was always a nice little sale period. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and let's label it for everybody so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All of that was then turned into supply, turned into a nice sales zone. All based off of this wick. It showed that price got up here and immediately sold off. Immediately. And then we tried to get back up here again. We got above it, swept it, but then the very next day, crazy sell-off candle. And then it started the whole downtrend that we was in. So that's pretty much where Bitcoin's at. We just changed market structure. And so what we are fighting with right now is a big SR zone. This right here will be the SR zone because ultimately what we will need to happen is for price to, for one, it might not just bust through instantly. You feel me? So we might just kind of bobble around right here within this range, trying to shoot through it until we ultimately get above it, come back down for a retest. Hopefully, maybe. It's not always guaranteed, but for the most part, retests are a part of market structures, and then we'll continue to move forward once we kind of chew through all this supply. It's not going to happen instantly. It can happen instantly, but I don't think it's going to because Bitcoin is a multi-trillion-dollar asset at this point, and it takes a lot of money and volume to even move the chart that drastically, I would say. But as of right now, everything's looking golden in Bitcoin. Everything's looking golden. Changing market structure, and we're above the 50 on the RSI, meaning we have relatively good strength behind this move that we're in. So I don't see a reason for us not to continue this move upwards and find new all-time highs within Bitcoin within the foreseeable future. So let's go ahead and move on over to Ethereum real quick. It was breadcrumbs. Put it back down. Oh, change over. Here we go. This is one thing I always hate, man. Freaking kids are on the game. On the game while I'm trying to stream. Got somebody else in the other room doing the same thing. It's alright though. I ain't messed up at it at all. Ethereum. Matter of fact, let's zoom out on Ethereum real quick. Because we high time frame. Always look at the high time frame so you can know the actual general gist of the market as a whole and not just what's going on within the day to day. You're looking at the day to day, that shit changes so frequently and so drastically. It'll scare you from even getting into the markets. But as you can see right here on Ethereum, Ethereum has been below this red box. This was the supply area for Ethereum from the last cycle. And as you can see, it's the exact same setup that Bitcoin had. We had this massive wick. Let me move this over a little bit. Where we had this massive wick come up right here and then instantly sold off. Like we got all the way up here to the zone and instantly sold off. Boom. But then we came back, swept it. It's literally the exact same thing Bitcoin did, but this is back in 2021. Same patterns, just at different time points. History do not repeat. It rhymes. Say that so many times and you will still never even understand exactly what I'm talking about. But we swept it, boom, and then as soon as we got above it just a little bit, hard sell off. Hard sell off. Literally the exact same thing we just seen on Bitcoin. And that zone from 4 years ago has been keeping us underneath like it ain't nothing. Like what's the analogy? A ball underwater. Like get a beach ball, hold it underwater. As soon as you let go, the thing's gonna pop and fly up into the sky. That's what we waiting on. So this thing has been underwater for 4 years. Every time we got to the surface of the water, we got pushed back down, held back down, boom, held back down. We finally got above it, and we're holding it as support so far. Now, I don't think it's gonna crash through it or anything. I feel like this is actually pretty secure spot in the charts. We're gonna go ahead and zoom in on the day today, and just for the heck of it, I'm gonna go ahead and hide this box too. So Ethereum don't look too terrible. It don't look too bad at all, man. I like to trade in ranges. That's the reason why I used that volume profile earlier, because I'm looking at this entire range. So I'm gonna put a parallel channel up right here, right? We're gonna expect this. What happened recently with Ethereum? So boom, boom. Come on, I'm gonna get it somewhat exact. Bang. I'm gonna take off these fib extensions real quick for y'all, cause we don't need those. We ain't really making no predictions on this as of right now. So take that off, take that off. Okay. So this is the range that we in on Ethereum. As you can see right here at the top, we had a small little deviation period, right? Where we just got out of the range, then we instantly got sucked right back into the range, right? Boom. We're gonna go ahead and label this too. You know, it's teaching moments, teaching moments. We're gonna label this deviation. Boom, deviation. Hold on, let me change this a little bit. Put that one at the top. We're gonna get this one right here, and boom. This is a deviation, a symmetrical deviation. Like, again, if you paid attention to some of my other videos, I've talked about symmetrical deviations. Once it deviates on one side, it typically likes to do the exact same thing on the other side. Am I mad at it? No, not at all. I love it. It's kind of predictable. Once I seen it had this little sweep, boom, I instantly was looking like, okay, now we're about to sweep this low. Because we swept this one and got sucked right back into the range. Boom, and we did. We came down, deviated at the bottom, and now we're making our ways back up to the midline area of this particular range. Now let's look at the volume profile on it real quick. As you can see, anything below green is a buy. If you would have got down right here towards the bottom, anytime you get to the bottom of this range, it's a buy period. So below this green is the bottom of the range. You could have bought anything within this little area right here, right? Anything right here and below is a solid buy. Instantly. And anything up here above the red is a nice, decent sell. Now, truth be told, I'm not selling no crypto because I know my assets are going to fluctuate. Yes, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. But I just want to accumulate as much as possible. Buy, 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 buy. Because the big sell moments in the charts has not really came just as of yet. Ooh, let me grab something real quick for you, man. Be oregano. Here you go. All right, back on real quick. Had to give my baby her medicine real quick. You feel me? Kids getting sick. Change the weather. So let's go ahead and get rid of all this. So you already know what's going on with the deviations on Ethereum, and you see exactly where we are with everything. So I can go ahead and get rid of all this because I just need to set the stage on what's actually going on. So boom, 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 boom. Bang. So Ethereum, we done set the stage on everything. Pretty cut clear on what's going on. So let's go ahead and move to the next thing. We're gonna look at the entirety of the crypto market. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the big dogs. We touched on that. The entirety of the crypto market is $4 trillion, right? That's how much money is flowing in these markets. $4 trillion. And right now, you can see it kind of looks similar to Bitcoin because Bitcoin holds most of the liquidity within the market as a whole, but it's a little bit different. It's not completely the same because total does encompasses everything. So Bitcoin's not going to be the only thing that's really moving the market within this chart specifically. But total is doing wonderful. It's doing wonderful. I can't really say nothing bad about it. We are still holding this area right here. Let me see if I can move it over a little bit. Hold on. Apologize having to get up, man. Kids don't care about what you got going on in your day-to-day life. I swear they don't. Well, I don't care if you trying to be a YouTuber, daddy. I don't give no damn, daddy. Anyways, man, we keeping this area right here. We holding it as support, and as great, freaking great. We're going to spring off of it. It was a nice SR, support resistance. It was a resistance, boom, resistance. We came up, didn't quite tap it, resistance. We're right here in this little area right here. Let's see where we are within the volume profile within this small range as we're holding this as support. As you can see, we bounced from the green through the red and we're starting to make our ways up. If we can get us a higher high from this level right here, then we're really golden, which I believe is about to happen anyways, because we did make a slightly higher low. Not by much. Not by much at all. Like, let's zoom in a little bit closer so you guys can really see this. We did not make a higher high, a higher low by much at all. You can see, like, we barely cleared it. We barely cleared it. But we did. That's all that matters. Now, next thing we're looking for is a sweep of this high right here. If we can get us a sweep of this one, just to keep the market structure moving in a positive direction, then that would be great. Not a sweep. I don't want to sweep because a sweep means you just go above it and then like come back down. No, I want to like really take off, bang, come back down, use this area as support, use this area right here as support, and make a higher low, and then continue the trend, making higher highs and higher lows, so we all can get this money within the crypto market as a whole. As a whole, like I said, this is everything in crypto that what this chart right here is representing, and we're like crypto's growing. We came down, and this whole time we've been chilling, we've just been holding support. That's it. From the previous range that we just got out of, we broke out of this range right here. Like we had a massive sell-off. Bang, we came back up, stutter stepped in, boom, broke above it. These two highs, and now we're using them as support, not as resistance anymore. And now we're gonna keep the move going forward. Very, very simple. It ain't rocket science. Let's move over and look at others chart real quick. Now others is everything excluding the top 10. Very, very important chart to be looking at. Hold on, it's the wrong one. That's others dominance. There we go. Go ahead and zoom this thing out just a little bit for y'all, because ultimately we're doing the same thing. Higher highs, higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows. In fact, if you can see how we broke this trend line right here back in the day, boom, that was a nice little resistance trend line. Boom, we hit it, resisted, 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 resisted. As soon as we broke past it and held it as support, it's the exact same way with the horizontal ones. Now, the horizontal lines are way more secure. They're way more, I would say they're more important. They're way more important. But this shows an obvious switch of trend. Like we had a higher low from this previous low right here. Then we broke up, made a higher high. And we came down and we made a higher low. And then we just shot up after that. It was like a straight shot. And this was from the Trump election right here. Boom. It was perfectly timed. Dude, we came all the way back down to retap this trend line. Perfectly timed. He got elected. He's a bullish crypto president. We flew. Any other thing, like anything else about Trump, I'm really not a fan. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I care less about him. But if he gonna make me some money, get in office for a little while, man. Like, I ain't trying to get political or nothing, but people don't understand that bad shit's gonna happen regardless. Oh, like regardless of who's in office. Like bad things happen when Barack was in office. Bad things happened when Biden was in office. Bush. Like bad things are gonna happen. They're gonna have stupid plans for their presidential elections and for their term while they're in office that don't really coincide with us, the people. It really coincides with the rich. You know, the rich keep getting richer, poor gets poorer. But we're gonna change that because now we got knowledge and information, right? So look, it's the same thing right here. We broke out of this trend line, we bust out, came down to re-tap it. We came up and we're fighting past this major resistance, which is the complacency shoulder of this last drop down. If you don't know what a complacency shoulder is, it's pretty much like if you look at an A-B correction wave on a chart. These are the three most important parts on the downturn of a chart, any chart, especially when it's like when you know. Anyways, you come down, you make your first drop, major drop. You come up and try to it's called a complacency bounce, where you're trying to continue the trend, but ultimately you make a lower high, and then the trend really kickstarts. And since that's confirmation after you really shifted market structure, the C wave is the biggest and most drastic wave. It goes all the way down to the bottom where everything flips. So that's your complacency. At the head of that complacency is where we are right now. And it's just like how I was talking about like on Ethereum. Like we're gonna chop through it. I don't think we're just gonna bust through it instantly. I don't think Ethereum's gonna be in price discovery by next week. I don't personally think so. I hope not. I want more time to keep buying. I'm greedy. I just want to keep buying and buying and buying. But we're just chopping through it right now, chopping through it. And then once we continue to do that and we completely get through all this supply and turn this into support, then the next level will be up here at this one, which I ain't got drawn all the way out. Can I grab it? I don't feel like doing all that, but we'll get to that when the time comes. But that's where all the rest of the altcoins are looking at. And ultimately, if you want to look at it on a higher time frame, we're still not even at our all-time highs as the altcoins, excluding the top 10, all crypto, excluding the top 10, we're not at our all-time highs. We are still a good little ways off. Not too crazy. It's not like we can't get back up there within a couple days, to be honest, a couple weeks. But like 60% off. 50 to 60% off from our all-time high, and that's cool. That's cool. We chilling right now. Last video I had explained how the rotation of money works within the equity market. Like it starts with the Nasdaq, then it goes to the S&P 500, and then it rolls over to IWM, which is the Russell, which is small caps. So like let me start that back over. The Nasdaq is really consisted of the largest companies within the United States parameter of their equity market. So that'd be like your Apple, Nvidia, it'd be like your I think Microsoft would be a part of that too. You know, Tesla, things that everybody know, all the companies that everybody know. And then you go down one, you go to the S&P 500. It's like your mid caps. I don't know, random stuff. I don't like random stuff that you know, but it's just not that big. And like Dell, for example, Dell computers, that might be considered like a mid cap. You know, they've been around for a while. They got a lot of money flowing into it, pretty much like a mid cap. But then when you go into the Russell, that's your small caps and micro caps. That's your crypto of the stock market. Because you know, crypto is micro cap. I don't care what it like. If you compare anything other than Bitcoin to any other asset in the world, then it's micro cap. Regardless, maybe Ethereum and XRP can fit in there too, but for the most part, everything is micro cap in crypto. So whenever the Russell, the IWM, actually gets past its all-time high, you'll see things like typically Bitcoin will come afterwards. This cycle, since we had a lot of smart money moving into crypto specifically, especially with Trump announcing that he's going to make the U.S. the crypto capital and have all these beautiful bills signed to help people with crypto, but secretly steal their money. Like, yeah, secretly steal their money. It was right there in y'all face. But Bitcoin normally will lag behind the Russell. This time, it actually went off before the Russell did, just because all that extra money was coming in that we wasn't really prepared for as as a asset class, but you know, we benefited off of it if you was in crypto before the Trump um, presidential election. Hopefully you was. You would have made some money, man. I made a lot of money. I ain't gonna stunt. But anyways, keep it going. Then after Bitcoin take off, you see Ethereum take off. After Ethereum take off, you see Dogecoin. When Dogecoin takes off, all the stupid little micro caps just soar. Go stupid, bananas, bunkers, however it is you want to look at it, man. So, what we gonna look at? Let's look at the IWM right now, anyways. First, let me check on everything. I don't expect to have anything in the chat. You know, I just like getting up here. We got one viewer on this thing. It's cool. It's cool. We kicking it. We kicking it. Most of my views come after I post this stuff, anyways. But it's all good. I ain't tripping. Cause to be honest, I'm straight. Like I got my money in already. I'm putting more money in constantly. I'm really just trying to teach y'all to get y'all up in here and get y'all pockets right. Cause this is how we move. This is how we move. Let's look at IWM real quick. Let's see where we are. I ain't check it at all today. I normally check everything every single day because I'm just so passionate, obsessive for success at least. You gotta put the world in, put the world in, if I really can. We're right here, really close to the all-time high break for the IWM. I would love for it to happen yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. How far off? We're less than 2% away. Less than 2% away. That can literally get done tomorrow. Like literally, we can literally have us a candle like how this one was. Boom, shot all the way up. That was more than a 2% gain within that day. We could literally break past all this stuff tomorrow. Now, for me specifically, if it don't happen this weekend, typically what happens on a Sunday and Monday, we have a little sell-off just because that's when equity markets open up. You know, like for example, how the banks are closed. Equity markets open up on Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they like to sell the positions for whatever reason. They want to sell, make the markets crash, and rebuy it lower because they're assholes. You know, I just play the game. I know the rules. I see exactly how it is they moving. I just position myself. It's the only thing I do. So we only 2% away from a break. And then after that happened, probably within a week, 2 weeks later, Ethereum's gonna like break past its all-time high, and it's like the rest gonna be cookies because everything's gonna catch up. It's gonna be a massive catch-up trade, massive. So now that we done broke all this stuff down, right? Let's go ahead and get into the juicier section of the live, and we're gonna actually start talking about like a lot of these altcoins that I have either positioned myself into, looked at, or